Namaste. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Invisible India podcast. Today I have with me Kunal Dutt, who is a journalist and also is going to tell us about the campaign that he is running to save some of Patna, Bihar's most historic sites. So, welcome.
Thank you, Jessica, for having me.
Yeah. Today we are going to talk about the 5 historic places of Bihar, of Patna, Bihar, that you need to know about, and what you can do if you want to get involved in helping to preserve these sites. So first, before we get into that, I want to learn a little bit about Kunal ji. आप थोड़ा सा बताइए अपने बारे में, कैसे आए इस काम में?
Jessica, first of all, thank you for hosting us. And Save Historic Patna Collectorate is very close to my heart. It started as a campaign, but now it's a veritable heritage movement. इसकी शुरुआत अगर मैं बताऊं तो 2010 के आसपास जब मैं पटना में था, that time certainly so much demolition was happening, and one of the landmarks that we lost was the Bankipur Central Jail. It was a 19th century landmark, and then 2016 the news came about the Dutch era Patna Collectorate facing the wrecking ball, and this collectorate is the headquarter of the Patna district. In a way, this is the place from where the entire operations of the district is run. It's a symbol of our city, and instead of celebrating it, we decided to knock it down. So we thought that just talking to people in government was not enough, and we have to come up with a platform where like-minded people from different walks of life could come together and share their vision and create a roadmap for a city wherein we could usher in the ethos of heritage preservation.
Yes.
Today we are more than 2,500 people from more than 20 countries. Patna has so much history to offer, because what you often hear in the dominant media is essentially negative news about the state and the city.
Yeah.
So that was also one of the reasons for running this campaign, is to use and leverage heritage as a medium to tell the story of the city and of Bihar at large.
Great. Yes, which is such needed, as we were just talking about, that there is a lot of negative perception about Bihar, about Biharis. We need to do a whole separate conversation about that.
Absolutely.
About why ye sab soch ekdam galat hai. This is the wrong kind of thinking. There are so many people from Bihar who are doing incredible things, and the media and others like to fit Biharis into this little stereotype.
Boxes,
Yeah. So, going on with the buildings, the history, I just want to ask, why do you think it is that people are so easily just wanting to give up these historic sites, whereas in other cities, people are working very hard to preserve this and turning it into a tourist attraction. Yeah. Why are we not doing that in Bihar?
So this is also one of the aims of our campaign, is to create or foster a sense of ownership. What we found, the problem was with the Bihar psyche was that we're so inured to it that even the act of demolition doesn't affect us. We wanted to make people react. We wanted to make people feel hurt when something of that happens.
Right.
Because when you feel hurt, you take the corrective measure.
Sure.
If you're inured to realities, nothing will happen.
Sure. Yeah. Let's talk about the top 5 buildings, the top 5 most historic places in Patna that you can tell us about, that we need to know.
Okay.
So number 1, the most obvious,
GOLGHAR.
GOLGHAR.
Famous, the most famous.
That is the most famous.
The symbol of
Patna का पूरा मतलब पहचान है.
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल.
So please tell us, a little bit about the history of GOLGHAR.
Yes. So GOLGHAR, as the name suggests, is the Hindi word for round. So the structure, scientifically or architecturally speaking, is an inverted beehive structure, and it's a granary essentially. एक अनाज रखने का जगह था ये. 1786 it was built by Captain John Garstin of the Bengal Engineers. essentially he's also the same man who designed the town hall in Calcutta.
Oh.
It's the same person, and he's
Okay.
buried there in Calcutta.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
And GOLGHAR, in many ways today, is a symbol of Patna in perhaps the most right way, because it's the most unique building. You can't replicate it anywhere.
No,
And if you have the Gateway of India for Bombay, if you have the India Gate for New Delhi, if you have the Charminar for Hyderabad, you have the GOLGHAR for Patna. And it took about 2 years, so 1784, the construction began, and it was built to prevent, or rather to help people during famine.
Yeah.
Because 1717 was a Great Bengal famine, and it was then that the Governor General ordered the construction of the granary.
Yeah.
It's also known as Garstin's Folly because perhaps it has never been fully filled, because the gates open inwards.
Oh.
So that's the number one I would always say
Achha.
as the place to see in Patna.
Number 2.
The new capital of Patna was laid. So like New Delhi, you also had New Patna.
Okay.
Just that New Patna term never was used the way New Delhi became
I see.
the official term. The Secretariat and the Raj Bhavan, today's Raj Bhavan, which is then the government house, in one straight line. So I'm talking about the one with the clock tower, which many of you might have seen while landing in Patna.
I see.
And that's called the Patna Secretariat.
Yeah.
Huge. I think officially it is the largest building in Patna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So number 3.
Now, of course, let's come to the Patna Collectorate, which is where this campaign began from. Our immediate aim, of course, here, Jessica, I would just like to take a minute to explain that the aim of this campaign is not just to preserve one building or talk about one city, but entire Bihar.
Yeah.
This is our immediate attention, because when someone is in ICU, you want to save that life first,
Of course.
and then go for the less severe patients. So, Patna Collectorate is a building the history of which goes far back to the 17th century. And the British were the first one to come here to try and establish a business, but of course that didn't work. That was 1632, I believe. Then the Dutch came, the Dutch East India Company, or the VOC, the Verenigde Oost-Indisch Company, as it is called in the Dutch language. Well, I've learned a bit of Dutch to understand.
Sure.
And so VOC is a very famous term that is used to describe this company, like the EIC for the British East India Company. And this building essentially was part of the factory. Now, the term factory today in today's context, is not how it was used in those era. They have these beautiful gardens and even residences, offices, sometimes even graves inside it.
Yeah.
So I would say the third most important building that people of Patna should really watch out for.
Okay. Okay, number 4.
Well, number 4 is another building, which is, or rather a set of buildings in a complex that is facing demolition. So let's talk about that. Now, about the Patna Medical College and Hospital.
Okay.
Many of
Not one you would think of just if you
well,
were
hospital
new,
or so you wouldn't think of a hospital as a place to see.
Right.
In Japan or China, I've seen how old buildings are reused, repurposed as heritage homestays, cafes, museums, art gallery, performing art centers, and we just don't have that vision, unfortunately. I'm saying we have the capabilities.
Sure.
We just need to have the vision. So this particular building, Jessica, is currently facing demolition, and I thought it's important to highlight here is this is 1874 was when we started the Temple Medical School of. It was still Patna, was still part of Bengal.
Yeah.
And it was upgraded to a medical college called Prince of Wales Medical College in 1925. It was started as a medical college, and it was established to commemorate the visit of the then Prince of Wales Edward VIII in 1921. Then in 70s it came to be known as Patna Medical College Hospital. Sure. Now the buildings are so beautiful, especially the General Hospital building, the Patna General Hospital building, with its beautiful Doric colors. So that's definitely should be on the list of people, and you should go and see it before it's too late.
Yes. That's one of the sad things, is that we have to have that disclaimer Right.
You don't want to make your city a photocopy of another city and call it a smart city. You know, I think
Exactly.
smart city should be about smart thinking and smart people. And that's where we come to the last building.
Boom.
Unfortunately, that building is no more with us.
Can we just... Okay, so building number 5.
Well, Jessica, I would rather say, this is the ghost of building number 5. Because we lost it in 2019, and I'm talking about Patna's first planned municipal market, famously known as the GOLE market. It was located
GOLE market.
GOLE market. Why GOLE market? Because it had this kind of a round cross section and 2 kind of long wings jutting out from the center,
Sure.
and it has this beautiful red tile roof on top of it.
It had.
Yeah, well, it had, yes. And we had met authorities, we had kind of tried to impress upon them that how this building could be reused, repurposed into a cafe, and we were actually making a plan as part of this campaign. So this is not just about a building, we were trying to save as much as we could.
Yeah.
But in 2019, when I was in Delhi, it was I think in the month of June, if I remember correctly, and one of my friends just messaged me, he actually sent me a picture of a bulldozer sitting next to it.
Oh.
And just clawed its way into it.
Wow.
And I think, you know, the city of Patna has already abandoned its heritage.
I see.
It's, you know, psychologically we've already done that, so it doesn't hurt us. For any city to lose its architectural gem, and we don't see these buildings as mere collection of bricks and mortar and iron and benches. You know, it's human stories.
Yeah.
They were built by human hands. First of all, you can't box history or heritage into categories and labels. It was built by human hands. It was built by Indian hands.
Yeah.
It was built by Bihari labor.
Yeah.
It is standing on your land.
Yes.
And it is your heritage. If you are destroying it, demolishing it, you are axing your own feet. No, I think any act of demolition, for me personally, is an act of violence. And I think the recent winner of Pritzker Prize, they described the same way, that preservation gives us a sense of understanding of our past.
Yeah.
If we just build new and just eliminate everything old, where are we heading? I think even if we go to these 5 places, any dweller of the city of Patna, you will not only get to understand the complex origin of the city, but also you'll understand why we need to preserve them.
Yeah.
And our campaign, Jessica, is essentially to give people a handle to that,
Yeah.
and to make people sensitive. And of course, like I said, create a sense of ownership that it is yours at the end of the day. It is our heritage.
Yeah.
It is not, and nothing to say.
So can you tell us a little bit more about the campaign and what people can do to help, to preserve these buildings, to preserve this history, to stop the violence, like you said, stop these demolitions, and what can people do?
Well, our campaign already has people from different walks of life. So we have graphic designers, we have artists working for us, but of course the number is far too less. And we would appeal through your channel to people listening to us that even if you're not from Patna, but if you have the talent, if you understand architecture, if you understand, if you're an artist, if you're a graphic designer, help us, make creative posters or make small videos, or journalists, they can. I would really like to emphasize here, Jessica, that the local media has been rather not very forthcoming in terms of giving that support for heritage.
I see.
Like you would see in other cities.
Sure.
It just hurts me that why कि पटना में ऐसा क्या है कि हम वो चीज़ नहीं कर सकते हैं. अगर हम ये कहते हैं कि ये पाटलिपुत्र की भूमि है, this is that land of historic Patliputra. I want to ask people, can someone take me to that place where I can see the Patliputra? Or if a friend of mine comes from other city and wants to see that historic Patliputra, where will I go?
गर्व होना चाहिए एक तरह का.
तो गर्व तो है जैसिका, लेकिन वो एक शैलो प्राइड है कि हम पाटलिपुत्रा कहने के लिए गर्व कर रहे हैं. We are just feeling for the sake when you land at Patna airport and it says पाटलिपुत्रा की धरती पर आपका स्वागत है.
Well, thank you everyone for watching and listening. Please find Kunal and his campaign on Instagram.
And
Where
Facebook.
else? And Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's Save Historic Patna
Collectorate.
Collectorate.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the same name, people can look us up.
Yes, yeah. So please check that out. Again, thank you for listening to the Invisible India podcast.
Thank you.
I've really enjoyed our conversation, and I hope there's some ripple which can take place because of this conversation.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you very much.